50 is the new 35, he exclaimed as he jumped from the barn's loft onto a plush pile of hay below. Well, the excitement in his burst made up for the weakness in his legs, and he safely did make it to that level below. So much life behind him, so much life ahead. His skin was itchy with hay, but his heart was full of needles in a haystack. He had been lucky. Lucky all right, lucky in love. He had found his needle in a haystack not once, but thrice. Two ladies slain by his careless disregard for the Cyclops. One lucky bride still enthralled to his enthusiasm for life, yet to be devoured by the Cyclops on the hill. Bob the Cyclops had long been the nemesis of our hero. Bob was 578 and didn't look a day over 139. Bob knew that bridal blood was the path towards rejuvenation. Our hero knew that he may one day lose his current love to Bob's quest for vitality, but that was okay because our hero appreciated the moment, and he knew that at 50, he loved jumping into the hay more than he ever did before in his life.
All right, welcome to XFL Fancast Episode 2. Episode 2, everybody. We made it to Episode 2. Already to Episode 2. Welcome. And thank you for joining. So, the first episode was a lot of we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and Today we're going to do some content. Today is content. So the other one was a mission statement. Today is content. So came up with the idea of, the Reddit Red-Eye. The idea is to go into a Reddit forum and look at what they're talking about in regards to the XFL. And I'm going to try to do this a little live, a little like off the cuff. Haven't made any notes. Perused. I did peruse this one thread for a moment, but we're gonna go on this journey together. So Reddit, I know, is a really cool place where people go to. They really get in the weeds of subjects. If you want to get in the weeds, in the deep down, dirty weeds where you cannot see above you, if you want to go in the tall grass, if you want to get down and extremely dirty, Reddit's the place to go. I mean, these folks get into the details and they care. That's why I like Reddit. Is you get a lot of earnest people that really care about whatever subject. I'll be honest, I don't go into Reddit very much. I go to Reddit very, very little. I might go to Reddit, a couple times a year, but doing this podcast, I could see myself going to Reddit all the time. So we're going to go to Reddit, the XFL Reddit right now, and we're just going to see what people are talking about, because these folks have got ideas for us. They've got ideas for the XFL. We're going to review what they say and provide commentary, and by we, it's me. And we, I guess via me, will look and see at some of these ideas that folks got. So the XFL Reddit page, the XFL reddit.com/r/XFL, and then you see it's got the logos of some of the old XFL teams. That's another episode we're going to do. We're going to do a history of the XFL. We're going to talk about the different teams. We're going to get into the weeds and logistics of the XFL. And maybe that would have been a good episode 2, but it's not the episode 2 I picked. Episode 2 I picked is to go to Reddit. And we're going to go to Reddit more than once. There's another word. So let's just get into this. So this guy's name is Roddy B7589. Roddy B has several ideas for the XFL. And he calls his post Some Ideas for the XFL. And that is a good title. Tells you everything you need to know about his subject, and we have a good preface for getting into it. So let's look at some of his ideas. So he says we should have. He actually thinks, because apparently I'm getting into this. Apparently there's some discussion on other XFL threads, and I have seen this, that there shouldn't be any halves. There should be just like soccer, free flowing, and no halftime. Just keep it rolling. But this person thinks, and I'm gonna say him because his name's Roddy B, and you would be a very unfortunate little girl if your name was Roddy B. But it could be. So you never know. But this guy thinks we should keep two half. Whoa! He's switching it. He says we should have 2 30-minute halves with a 10-minute halftime and not quarters. So that's kind of interesting. I like the quarter system. Like I see no. I don't know. Like. I don't see the need when we're talking about different ideas. Do we need to flip it into just 2 30-minute 2 halves instead of the quarters? That would be. I like the quarters. Like that's fun, but I might be a minority opinion. And please send me. What do you think? Is that the move? What should the quarters and halves be like? Should we, two 30-minute halves instead of 4 quarters? Well, I like quarters. I'll throw my in because it just kind of has a nice flow, and I think some familiarity is kind of nice. So what we're used to, like when it comes to basic structure, I think it's kind of cool to have some continuity with structure. And quarters is what we do in basketball. They do it in the other football league. That's the NFL. They do it there. So I think we're kind of used to the quarters in a lot of American sports. And I don't think we need to emulate soccer. I mean, soccer's soccer. Soccer is boring. Now, I don't actually, you know what? We said we wouldn't hate, and we won't hate. A lot of people love soccer. I liked it in high school. My team was really good. We were like state champions in high school. And soccer games are a ton of fun to go to as a live in-person viewer. It is exciting. But I find soccer, like hockey, doesn't translate to TV. Hockey is also really fun to go to in person, but it just doesn't look good on TV, in this man's opinion. Okay, so this gentleman says we should go with the 3-minute warning, like the CFL does. So instead of the 2-minute warning, let's do the 3-minute warning. So it allows teams to come back with final drives, and gives them a little more time to come back on that final drive. I'm completely ambivalent on this. Like 2 or 3 minute warning, that's interesting. I guess the CFL does 3-minute warning. Do we have any Canadian listeners? Like, is it cool? Is the 3-minute warning cool? Does that make sense? Yeah, this is hard to think about. Like, how would it'll change the strategy. Is that a good thing? Maybe we want a 1 minute. Like, maybe if we're going XFL, maybe we want a 1 minute warning. What about a 1 minute warning? That seems kind of fun. I like the 1 minute warning. But 3 minute warning, let's I would like some feedback on that. If we have anybody in Canada, they could tell me about the 3 minutes. That's interesting. Let's see. Roddy B also talking about overtime. Rules should be run similar to college football rules. Both should have an equal opportunity to score. You know what? I think we're going to do an overtime show. That is such an important topic. I might do a whole episode on overtime ideas that I see in various forums. I like that. I like that as another show. So I'm going to table that discussion right now. So here's another one. 3 downs. I guess the CFL does 3 downs. Creates a faster game because the run game is heavily de-emphasized in favor of passing. Okay, that makes sense to me. But again, I don't know. There's a certain oddness. There's an evenness to 4 quarters. 4 quarters, 4 downs. That is interesting. You know, I am going to research the history of the NFL. I mean, not the history of the NFL, but the history of football, and see how many downs they used to do, years ago. It's interesting to see if it's always been 4 downs. Now, I suspect it's been 4 downs for. It's probably always been 4 downs. I'm just guessing, and there's someone that is a football aficionado that is punching their windows like, it's been 3 downs in 1918 and 1927 with the leather helmets. There, 3 downs, you dummy. I'm guessing it's 4 downs because that's why it's called football, because that 4th down was to punt. That's my guess. But it's really interesting. We're going to learn about this together. You're hearing some of my ignorance. I have a plan for a future episode to get into the history of football. And that'll help us break down this stuff. But I think it's kind of fun for me to read some of these, Reddit things without having a bunch of, researched, beautiful opinions, I don't need to be a scholar to have an opinion, Do you have to be a scholar to have an opinion about freaking football and sports? Nah. And but it won't hurt. We'll educate. We will be scholars. Think about this. You get episodes deep in the XFL Fancast. You are gonna be a bit of a scholar on football, but for now, we're just gonna shoot from the hip. Shoot from the hip. Okay. Let's see. Catching. So what I love about Reddit is a lot of these gentlemen, they organize the post in very delineated fashion. We have an organization to the thoughts. That way, we can linearly figure it out. Now, obviously, I just did the black man, white voice, which it's kind of funny. I always thought it was funny that black comedians always think all white people got like white people are nerds, because they always do just a generic nerdy voice. Like, that's right. This is my voice of the white man. Because because the white character for the joke is funnier if they're like an accountant. I think that's what it is. But I don't know, but it's hilarious. Like, I'm going to do the voice of the white man. The next one I read will be, let's see. The gentleman is talking about kickoffs. He says kickoffs start at the 40-yard line to allow returns and prevent touchbacks. Alternative idea, no kickoffs. Play starts at the 30-yard line regardless. That's right. Well, I think that's poppycock. I wouldn't start at the 30-yard line. Well, I'm gonna switch back to my normal persona. I happen to like special teams. I like kickoffs. So I love returns. Like, returns are fun. In fact, I don't like it when the other football league is trying to reduce returns. Like, I would like a return on every kickoff if possible, and have it be the biggest exception to the rule when there's not a return. What if we say you have to return it? You know, like, you have to return it. Maybe that's the rule. Ooh, that's fun. Like, you have to return it. You know, unless it's kicked out of the darn end zone, you have to return it. It must be returned. So that would be a lot of fun. I think there's an unknown factor to kickoffs. Right now kickoffs, like, they're kind of known. You know, like, nothing happens in the other football league, but it's fun when, like, you know, it's that unknown. But yeah, so send me some ideas on kickoffs, everybody. Like, that's cool. Like, do we like kickoffs, or do you want just to start at, like, the 20-yard line or the 30-yard line? You know, what do you think of my idea? Just, like, no, like, you have to return it. Even if you catch it, like, maybe even if you catch it outside of the end zone, you have to return it. And in fact, if the player doesn't catch it, even if it's outside of the end zone, like, there's a penalty. Like, you know, like, the other team can get the ball back or something. I don't know. That could be a lot of fun. I would like to see some chaos. Just the possibility of chaos. See, that's what's amazing about kickoffs, is there's that possibility of chaos. Like, something that you don't expect can happen. And, you know, that can always happen in football. The unexpected, something wild can happen. However, it's more fun if that unexpected probability is higher. You know, if in your head, you know, okay, well, it's like a 2% chance of something unexpected happen. Yeah, you're probably gonna go get some. That you can go to the bathroom. It's time to go get a beer. Like, you know, you don't mind if you'll even text someone you don't even like that much. You know, like, I mean, you'll always be texting if it's that sexy girl that's, like, sending you naughty photos. Like, you'll always be texting her. I don't care what's happening in the game. But, you know, like, you might be texting that girl that's got a little bit of a busted face that you're like kind of not really interested in, but like a little. You might text her during portions of the football game right now because that's more interesting. But I think if there was some chaos, there's no way you would text that girl. You would definitely be watching the screen. I think with zero doubt in my mind. Okay. So Roddy B has so many ideas, and I'm not covering all this man's ideas. I mean, you could talk about his post for a long time, but he actually put a lot of thought in this, and I gave him the nerdy voice. This guy might not be a nerd at all. You know, he might be the coolest guy ever. He might be James Bond himself. He might be the person that James Bond is based on. He might be the Dos Equis most interesting man in the world. Been there, done that. Got the salt and pepper beard. Goes skydiving. Does all this wild stuff. You know, I don't know anything about Roddy B. Is the point. However, it was fun to do the black comedian white man voice. So I did it. So let's see. Let's look at some of his other ideas. And God bless you, Roddy B. You have so many ideas. Give me stuff to think about. You even gave me a show idea, Roddy B. We're gonna talk about overtime rules. I thought I liked that. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so special teams. He's got the special teams section. Let's look at the special teams section. After touchdown, the PAT is attempted. Whenever the scored played occurred. Oop. Well, I don't want to make fun of his grammar because I'm using his work to base a show off of. So that wouldn't be cool to make fun of his grammar. Like, and I'm not a jerk. So, what is he trying to say? Let's see. If the score is beyond 25, the PAT takes place at the 25-yard line in the hash. Okay, so after touchdowns, okay, this is let's try to figure this out together. So after touchdowns, the PAT is attempted from whenever the scored played occurred. If the score was beyond 25 yards out, the PAT takes place at the 25-yard line on the hash. The scoring play occurred. Oh, okay, so that's so okay. Okay, so are you penalized for like a long touchdown? That's what this seems like. It seems like he's saying if you threw like a bomb, like you threw the bomb, right? And it was like a 50-yard touchdown score, then the PAT takes place at the 25-yard line. On the hash, the scoring play occurred. Okay, so he's saying like, so if you score, okay, I get it now. We got you figured out, Roddy B. So if you score like a touchdown, like less than, wherever you score the touchdown from is where you kick the PAT. So if you ran the touchdown in on the 1-yard line, you would score the touchdown at the 1-yard line. And, you would kick the PAT at the 1-yard line. And then he's saying the maximum is like the farthest it could be out is 25-yard lines. It's 25-yard line. Well, this is a fascinating idea. Again, Roddy B has a lot of good ideas, and he's provocative, and that's all we really want. We want to think and dream together. I really like that. Think and dream. So I'm an agent of chaos. So I actually do not want to reward the PAT. So if you score a play from 5 yards out, now you get to kick it at the 5-yard line. I don't want to reward the PAT in that way because I love it when the PAT is missed. I love the chaos factor. So whatever idea XFL, Vince McMahon, if you're listening to this, whatever idea we come up with, we gotta factor in the chaos factor. That's what we want. So we want it when we want to anticipate something going wrong. So we want to increase the chance that PAT is missed. Or maybe we can invent a whole new thing instead of a PAT. Is there some wild idea other than a PAT? I don't know. This is what's so fun. Like, there's going to be these creative ideas that I haven't found yet. So send them in. Like, is there a wild, crazy idea we could do instead of a PAT? So that's pretty wild. But I think for me, I want the PAT to be as long as possible. I mean, it would be cool if the PAT was like 50-yard field goal. If it was hard, like if it was genuinely hard. I mean, that would be rad. 50-yard PATs. That would be fun. It would actually make you excited to watch the PAT because you would be like, dang, like, is it going to make it? I mean, it might even be fun if the PAT was not automatic. If the PAT was, maybe the PAT is rare. Maybe the PAT is less than 50%. Like, that's fun. That's fun. I like chaos. I mean, that's my bias, but, this is my show. And we're at a portion of the show where I don't have a lot of fan feedback yet. We haven't grown yet. So at some point, I'll make this more your show and more the listener's show. And, we won't get, I mean, we're always going to get my opinion because that's the beauty of doing your own show is you get to say your opinion. But right now, it's pretty much just me and Roddy B right now. It's me and Roddy B. And I'm saying, Roddy B, I really like your idea, but I personally am going to not go with that idea. And I'm going to say a 50-yard field goal. That is the PAT. That's a lot of fun. So Roddy B has so many cool ideas, and I want to thank you, Roddy B, posting in the XFL Reddit. You gave me a lot. You gave us some fun things to think about. Again, I love the XFL. I mean, how fun is it that we can think about all these crazy ideas and it's possible? Like, we can talk about 50-yard PAT. That's amazing. You would be so wasting your time. I mean, you couldn't talk about a more inane, stupid thing to do than debate the NFL adopting a 50-yard field goal, because the NFL is not, the other football league, they are not going to listen to you. They don't care. They are 32 dudes that have their own agendas. Maybe a couple of them would care and want to make it fun, but a lot of them don't. And have you all tried to make decisions by committee? Yeah, well, it's pretty tough. And we got like a committee of 30. That's rough. That's rough. It's like get a man of the people that can make things happen like Vince McMahon. Now we can talk about 50-yard field goals as something like maybe that could happen. That's so wild. Like, that would be so funny. That would be fun. Like, I would watch the PATs. Wow. Maybe it's like, maybe they're 55-yard field goals, but they're worth 2 points. That's it. Like, they're 55-yard field goals, but they're worth 2 points. And that's what happens. And then it's only, we only get 20% of PATs ever happen. And now when you talk about getting 6 points, it's 6 points. Because right now people, like, the PAT is so like automatic. It's just like 7, Touchdown in people's brains is 7 points. Well, why? I mean, maybe let's focus on that 6 and then make it 8, or make it still 7, but make it 55 yards. That is so crazy. 55-yard field goal. That would be fun. There'd be like blocked extra points, and then you could add some extra chaos if like you block the extra point, and then you could run it back and get that point for yourself. Maybe you can score on defense. So if you block the extra point, you automatically get a point. You actually get 1 point. You don't even have to run it back. Just literally blocking it is 1 point. How much chaos and fun would that be? There would add so much more strategy and just unexpected moments. You wouldn't be able to stop watching. I love it. So that's episode 2, y'all. We've done 2 episodes now. Now this was a content episode. Content. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please hit the show up with your ideas and thoughts. I'm gonna tag those in at the end of the episode here. So hit us up with your thoughts, and we'll make some episodes centered around what you have to say. But I appreciate y'all, and that's been the XFL Fancast.
That was another edition of the XFL Fancast with your host, Seven Morgan. Please reach out to us, communicate with us via Twitter at XFL Fancast, at XFL Fancast on Twitter, via email, xflfancast@gmail.com, xflfancast@gmail.com, and please rate and subscribe. Thank you once again for listening to the XFL Fancast.